Hello, everybody, and welcome to sunny Germany. Behind me, you see a place where they grow grapes to make wine in a small way. And up on that hill across the way, they do it in a huge way, across Germany, really. And that's the same hill that the US Third Army came over in March 1945 and took Germany back from those guys with the funny hats and the armbands. So thank you, USA. And I wanted to do a video today about a trip that our son Martin and I made to Orlando in late November, and to the IITSEC convention, where we got to fly a bunch of aircraft and helicopter simulators. And there's been some recent developments. I had never flown a virtual reality simulator before. It was amazingly real. Still can't believe it, really. So very interesting. And let's go check it out. And this is an amazing company. These are three F-16s and a Eurofighter on the right, and far left is a Blackhawk. And they all have virtual reality, which really makes it like flying the real thing. It's so much better to be able to look around. I flew a helicopter a little while ago, and you have to only look out the windscreen, and it's tough to land it. You have to really get low and kind of drag it in, you know? Yeah. That's not so easy. And we're in Nevada?
Yeah, this is the Nevada test range. Probably cuts the idle power. There you go. And try to hold the nose up. Oh, you can go, yeah, you can do that too.
This is the website of the company Maitreya from the IITSEC show. They've changed the name since this was done. But you can see how realistic the simulation is. So somehow they've been able to digitize satellite pictures or photographs of some sort and make that be integrated into their software, into their database, I guess. And you can see here at the very ground level, the grass plants look real. And from the ground up, it's amazing. And you can see the light, the sunbeam moving as the airplane here banks to the right. You can see the sun on that missile pod. And that's what was so real flying the helicopter and the F-16, was that as you turned, the sunshine inside on the instrument panel moved too, just like in the real airplane. So that was a big advance over the monitor, kind of the TV screen-based simulators that you'll see here too. And it really was unreal. So they used the Unreal Engine, which is a commercial gaming system. It's been in development for many years. And somehow they enhance that and make it feel like you really are sitting in the real airplane or the helicopter. Good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, we're down. We're down on the ground.
Yeah, pretty much.
Take it off because we're moving. Cool. Shiny side up. And this is Martin at the helm of the S-60 Coast Guard Blackhawk helicopter, or Seahawk. And got the updated cockpit, and that's the radar, all the systems. This is where we're going, and that's the collective that changes the pitch of the rotor blades, and that is called the cyclic that changes the kind of the angle of the forward and aft and right and left. And we just went underneath the bridge. This is in New York City. I guess that's the Hudson River. And it's a very nice visual display. This is the fancy one, they said. And pretty amazing. This is a simulator of a T-45, so a Navy trainer done by the Navy out of the University of Central Florida in Orlando. And you can see it's a virtual reality simulator also, but it also has the hardware. And so they match up in the software the plane of the instrument panel with the hardware in front of me. And then it was all as realistic really as the other one. Just you can see that without all the hardware, the cost of that goes to zero, and that would make a lot of sense. So this airplane is underpowered. I was surprised. And I'm going to land here in a second and do a touch and go. So when I get the nose wheel on the ground, I go to full power. So a little bit right. And so now we're on the ground. Now the nose wheel is down, full power, and not much happens. The video ends here in a second, but I barely get off the ground before the end of the runway here. So this is a good example of something that's really great to find out in the simulator and not in the real airplane. And this is one of the main benefits of simulation. So the trainee here can get to know the ins and outs, the finer points of this airplane before they ever go near the real one. This is the Blackhawk simulator from Maitreya, and it's got the EFIS cockpit with the tape vertical speed indicator there on the right of the attitude indicator. Very interesting. And again, it just looks real. The way they do they present the light, the sunlight, and the way the light hits surfaces and is diffused. It really looks real. And everywhere I look, inside or outside, it is realistic. And this was huge fun. It was very, very much like being in the real thing. Even down to the co-pilot. He didn't say much. There you can see the sunshine, the sunbeam really moving around as I went through the turn here. Now it's all over Bob. And now on the dashboard too, on the instrument panel. Very realistic, which just doesn't happen in the TV monitor simulators. Or the dome simulator either. There's no way to do that. It would just cost a fortune, and this is way better already. And now, if you look at the vertical speed there, it's blue on the bottom half, so I'm going down. So I've moved the collective down. So the rotor blades develop less lift each time around. And basically you need to just take it easy whenever you're moving the controls in an airplane too. Now getting down closer to the ground. Can't read the altitude, but the chin bubble window there down by my right foot is a huge help too. This is also not in the other type of simulator. There you can see the ground moving by. So you can see the relative motion clearly when you get down close to the ground. So it really helps to get things stabilized, and then when it's time to go down and land, there you see the dust being kicked up, so I'm closer to the ground. And even the plants on the ground and the way the sand looks, it just looks real. There you can see out the right window down to the ground. Now I push the left rudder pedal, rotate a little bit to the left. Now you can see the shadow on the ground there. That really looks real. And the Blackhawk is a big girl, 52 feet long, I think. The rotor diameter is 56 feet. Have to check that. But this is when that vertical speed indicator is a massive help, because you can really make sure that you don't go down or up, so you can stay the same altitude. If it's not blue on either half, then you're staying at the same height above the ground. And getting ready to land, I think, there. Now we're on the ground. I put the collective down so the dust stops being kicked up, because there's not so much lift being produced by the rotor blades. So now we're just sitting there. Now I start to pick up the collective a little bit, kicking up some dust. And gonna go up in the air and put the nose, tilt the rotor blade disc forwards and make the helicopter go forward then. So by putting the stick really forward, it tilts the angle of the rotor blades and pulls the helicopter forward and up. There you can see the vertical speed is really blue on the top half, so we're going up in a big way. And I'm going to follow this road and put the nose even more forward and get going. I think the red line in this helicopter was 180 knots. And I'll put this whole video in a separate video on YouTube. If somebody wants to watch the whole thing. My wife said, you're the only one that wants to watch all this stuff. So this is taken at Ramstein Air Base here in Germany by our friends over at FRA Productions, who do such an amazing job of this. My dad's cousin was involved in the development of this airplane and the F-18 too. He's one of the fighter mafia. His name is John Michael Lowe, and he eventually became acting chief of staff of the U.S. Air Force. So pretty impressive. And so is this airplane here. It's pretty easy to fly actually. They've designed easy into it. Without external stores or fuel, you get off the ground and put the nose down a little bit, put the gear up. By the end of the runway, you've got 450 knots. So pretty amazing. The USA has been very lucky over time. They've had the right person sitting there, a group of people, when it came time to get the job done. And they sure did on this airplane. First flight almost 50 years ago. Doesn't seem like that if you look at it. Looks like it was a month or two ago. Wanted to have more video actually of me in the simulator of the F-16, but that just means we're going to have to go back in November, and can't wait. Orlando's very nice too. So the mission is over. Going back to base at Ramstein. Thanks again to FRA Productions for the excellent videos. The IITSEC show was really fun and amazing. The state of play has advanced. Virtual reality headsets have become cheaper and better. And it's just going to be possible for everybody in the squadron to have a simulator in their house. They'll all be linked together. They can practice the mission at home. So safety is increased and mission effectiveness too, which is why we build these and invest all this money. It's not about the air show. It's not about the simulator. It's all fun and games. But this is the real thing. These people are taking a risk every time they go start that thing up. I'll put a link to a website with a list of people who've sadly lost their life in accidents in the F-16. You don't see people talking about that much. I guess C.W. Lemoyne does, Mover, on his channel. I'll put a link also. This airplane is dangerous. It's trying to put you to sleep. And if you get into a turning fight with someone, you have to go to 9 Gs and stay conscious, otherwise you know what will happen. You can see people in the centrifuge pulling 9 Gs. It's not nice, it's not fun, it's not easy. So there they go. On the tires at the end. That's the idea.